everybody. Good job, Grace.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, One Tree Hill. This was fun.
We are working on score for episode 617 of One Tree Hill. It's a big episode, so we brought in a big shot musician to score the episode. Matthew Cause is here from Not a Surf.
Not a Surf's music fits One Tree Hill like a glove. It's typical One Tree Hill. It's got guitar, piano, drums, and their melodies are really pretty, so we knew it would be a good fit for a composer.
It's a good process. It's interesting. It's totally different from straight up songwriting because there's this extra variable of people on screen and characters walking off, and all of a sudden the music feels different because of that. So that's been the exciting part. And luckily, in a weird way, what happens on screen kind of helps the music along. The characters make the music feel appropriate, and the other way around.
It means we're going steady. This is so wrong, but it's so right.
Nice. That's really nice. Yeah, that's great. Really good stuff. What I was thinking is when Peyton picks up the little baby clothes, I was wondering if you wanted to add like an additional melody, which would just be a couple like single notes, just to sort of score that. Right. That point where she picks it up, and maybe even where he smacks the wall. Right. Just give it just something, just a couple notes in there to make us feel that a little stronger. And the idea in my head, Matt, is that it's like they're like tears without the tears.
Yeah, right.
So when she picks that up, you're feeling that. Right. It's as if she's crying inside.
Yeah.
You're just doing it for her.
I'm just gonna need a minute.
Feel like that. Well, this is the scene called The Long Goodbye, which is when Mouth and Millie are talking because she's come back to get her car and get her stuff. And it's a long scene, and trying to figure out what emotional turn needs to be in the music to reflect when the moment when Mouth really kind of makes his plea. He says, we've made mistakes, we've had trouble, but maybe we could be the kind of couple that gets past that and has something worth fighting for. So I'm just sitting here strumming along, waiting for the right chord to come along.
I'm not trying to be cruel, Millie. I'm doing this because you're the one who deserves to be angry. And you need to know that you didn't screw this up. I did.
It all works very well. My only note would be to enhance a couple of the moments, again, with something additional, whether they're single notes or whatever. When, like, for instance, the first time he says, "I'm sorry," it's like there's something I haven't said, "I'm sorry," like just to draw attention to that.
Right.
Whether it's one note or whether it's the organ or, whatever it is. But I think that cue is wonderful.
Trust me, there's nothing you can say that I haven't said to myself 1,000 times.
Well, maybe there's one thing. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
For driving you away.
It's amazing when you place a song, and Lindsay and I talk about this all the time, how you can change a scene. I mean, the scene's already shot. Yeah. The performance is exactly what the performance is. You're not changing anything about the words of the performance. You're simply changing the music that's behind it. Yeah. And then when you find that perfect song, you're like, yeah, that's exactly what it should be.
But it's a sad episode, and I do sad songs. So
yeah, she does. The queen of sad songs.
Now I really want to know if they're getting back together.
Nice. Now you're hooked.
I'm hooked. Yeah. I'm very invested in these two now.
It's one of our favorite things is to find artists that we really like and bring them into our world for a little while.
I own a small record label, and I have some connections back from my years in LA. How about we do that USO show? My experience with the military and with the USO specifically is last August, I got a phone call from some friends that my childhood friend was killed over in Iraq. I put word out to my management that I wanted to get involved with the military. My father's a Green Beret, and so I grew up around it, and I have a great deal of respect for it.
We had gotten a request for her to go do a USO show during the season, and it just wasn't going to work out with the schedule. And I thought, you know, this is a good opportunity to actually do something within the body of the show, because Hillary's character of Peyton, you know, she has her own record label. She's very active in the music industry, so why not do a USO show through the character?
We just wanted to not just do a show for the TV show, but we also wanted to give the troops a real show.
To bring those young men and women and their families and their young children into the spotlight and say, hey, we want to honor you and put a show on for you, and be able to do it with our huge audience, that was such a big deal, and it's so rewarding, and it's probably one of the things I'm proudest of on this show.
So we went to a Marine base in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and we really put on a performance for the soldiers.
First of all, that whole deal was my first concert ever, so that was like the best way to have a first concert.
It was amazing for me because, you know, I hadn't gotten to see Joy play a whole lot, and, you know, I'd heard her music and she's wonderful, but it was so cool to see her play live with E-Nation.
I had a great time. I'm very pro-military, and I was really excited to be able to go down there and play for the troops, and especially to be able to play with my husband and the rest of the band E-Nation that he's a part of. So we were really honored to be able to be there and give back to them.
It was a concert, and I had like backstage passes, and I got to meet Angels and Airwaves, and they did, you know, all their songs, and I watched Tom DeLonge get his hair cut, and we shared a funnel cake. It was so cool. I was like almost starstruck. It was really exciting.
We were invited to play two things. One for the One Tree Hill show, which we were honored to do that alone, but then we were able to throw in this big show for the Marine Corps. And obviously that's a huge honor, and a big thank you goes out to all the troops, and it's exciting just to be here. You know, we're just like normal dudes in a little candy store right now.
I would say there's a fine line between obsessed and how big of a fan we are.
The day was sort of summed up by a couple of Marines that we met. We had done a tour of the base, but when we came back, Mark and I got off the van and we met 3 of the Marines and 2 of their girlfriends, and I asked them if they were going to go to the show that night, and they said they couldn't. I asked them why. Did they have tickets? Did they need us to help them get in? And they said no.
I came here tonight to see this show, and we're leaving in about 2 hours to go to Iraq for our first time. So
they were going off to war that night, and that, to me, it really struck me and sort of put everything into place and everything into focus, that these guys that are 18, 19 years old, they're going to war, and at a minute notice, they're jumping on a plane to go overseas and to fight for this country. And to me, that everything came into focus for me when that happened. It was a touching moment for me.
When these 2 guys come back, they're invited to the set. They're invited whatever they want. You guys just gotta come back safely. This is what's real. 2 hours, they're going to Iraq, okay? That's real, and that's why we're here. We love you guys.
Well, they're making me go get dressed, but please be safe. Come back. Thank you for all your service.
very good experience. One of the best before we leave.
Yeah.
I mean, probably can't leave a better way.
Definitely go on Iraq smiling.
Oh yeah.
I've had so many people come up to me and just be like, it means so much, it brightens up our week that you guys are here, you know.
To watch the whole crew bust their ass and work really, really hard for this thing that I care about. Oh, I'm such a dork. That was awesome.
We did the whole show. We had a great turnout. And again, I think when you're in a season 6, not only do you have the opportunity to do those things, I think you have maybe a responsibility to do them.
Girl with the best
I've been fairly public about my love of music. My feeling that we can do more with the right piece of music than I can do with pages of dialogue. And it's nice to be considered one of, if not the best shows that's using music on television.
More.